Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, all appropriate ages, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, we may be. Hope you're staying safe and healthy. So, I come home last night to discover the Prey 2022 teaser trailer had been released. And first I was like, okay. Then I saw it was only about 40 seconds long. And before we get into it, let's just remind ourselves of the plot summary, or the one that IMDb has anyway. The origin story of the Predator in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago. Naru, a skilled female warrior, fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. That is the plot summary. The origin story of the Predator in the world of the Comanche Nation. Let's just let that sink in for a second, because people's initial thoughts when they first heard this movie being made was the origin story of the Predator landing on Earth. They are kind of getting away with this plot summary of it being in the world of the Comanche Nation, in their lives, not like the first ever Predator to drop on Earth. So, but then they say one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. So is it going to be a different kind of predator? You know, it's a bit, And there's a fire engine in the distance, if you can hear those sirens. Now, that all being said, the teaser trailer literally was the most teaserist of trailers I have bear witnessed. Because all it showed was Naru and one other character. And Naru basically, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, it's out there, but I'll just go over it. Naru running through the woods into a field of tall grass. The other character brings him down to get within cover, more or less. Aims a bow into the woods, and then the classic 3-dot laser aims at the head. And then it cuts to another screen, another part where Naru has an axe, and there's a predator in front of her in camo, but you don't really see much of that either. Now, I don't know what to make of this. Like, it's due to come out in August, and we are in the middle of May. So we've got June and July, and then it drops on the 5th of August. We're literally just a little over 2 months away from this movie, and all we've had are 2 pieces of promo, which was the Prey title in, like you see Predator Hunting Grounds there, in the Predator font, but in grey with a black background. And then we had another one of one of the characters in a fogged out woods with a predator standing behind in the distance. And then we had just this 40-second teaser. There's not a lot of promo going on for this movie. It is kind of worrying. Like, everyone's initial thoughts of when they first heard about this movie being made and what it was going to be about, everyone was being very skeptical. Everyone was being very concerned, and rightfully so, given how franchises of old are being completely fucking trashed. I.e., the last Predator movie was god awful. The Terminator franchise got fucking disemboweled. And we still don't know what's going on with the Alien franchise. It's up in the air at the moment. But yeah, I mean, the plot summary is a bit... Unless we get a full trailer anytime soon, opinions are still going to be up in the air, because That showed us next to nothing. We've had next to nothing in terms of promo or marketing. It's like, in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago, okay, so it's in their world. It's not like the first ever predator to land on Earth, it's the first one they encounter. But one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. And if it's set 300 years ago, it can't really be one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. Because if you take all the movies into account, Predator 1, Predator 2, Predators, Predator 2018, AVP and AVP 2, because they were actually tied into the Predator lore. There have been more highly evolved predators in the past that have landed on Earth or had earlier encounters with humans. I mean, if you go back to the first AVP movie where it shows them being worshipped by, it's been a while since I watched that movie, was it Aztec or Mayans? And showing them how to use resources, build pyramids, start a culture. You know, so it's not one of the first highly evolved predators on Earth. If this is only 300 years ago and they've been around since that timeline. So are they trying to rewrite the law? Are they trying to rewrite the Predator history? Because even then, go back to Predator 2. Raphael Adolini's flintlock pistol. Which, for those of you that aren't that familiar or just have watched the movies and not done any background on the movies or any of the Predator history, Raphael Adolini was a pirate who actually teamed up with a predator after his crew basically mutinied while they're in search of treasure. Predator pretty much slaughtered his crew, and they were going to have a fight after his mutinous crew were all dispatched, but he got shot in the back and passed away. But Greyback was like, this bloke was alright. I'll honour him, I'll bury him. He wanted a one-on-one, I can appreciate that. Adolini would have just been decapitated, but still. And then he stole his pistol off his corpse. What the fuck? Predators are thieves. But yeah, it's that would have been a way more interesting movie to make that Predator fans would have loved to have seen. This is, I don't know, until we see more within the next 2 months, still approach this with caution, because honestly we should not have any true clue of what to expect from this movie yet, at all, in any way, shape or form. All we know, the plot details are still a bit and there could have been way better ways or movie ideas to bring this franchise back to where it was. One thing I do hope for is that this Predator actually survives, because if you go back to Predator 1, it died. If you go back to Predator 2, the City Hunter died. The Predators in Predators died. Predators in the 2018 movie died. The Predators in AVP and AVP Requiem died. There has never been a Yautja. I actually finally called them Yautja instead of just Predators. There has never been a Yautja on the silver screen that had a fight with the humans and won. given all their advanced tech, their strength, speed and size advantage, they've just been battered. So I would like for once to see a Predator actually not really win but survive to actually make it back home with some skulls. But yeah, that trailer dropped and I was like, oh, interesting. Then I watched it, I was like, we still know nothing. But yeah, the plot still has me concerned. The possible change in Predators or Yautja history and timeline being changed is concerning me. What also concerns me is that it's exclusive to Hulu Plus. Now, that may be a problem for people outside the US because Hulu Plus is not currently directly available here in the UK and many other parts of the world outside the US, unless you have a VPN. And I'm going to draw a comparison here to when Mortal Kombat got released, because that had a similar kind of startup where we didn't hear anything at all, but then it dropped that awesome fucking red band trailer and I was sold as someone that grew up playing the Mortal Kombat games as well as watching the Predator movies as a kid. It's probably why I am the way I am now. But once that red band trailer hit, the promos and the marketing just came flooding out and had everyone's interest. And when the movie released, it was a solid movie despite its subtle character changes and flaws. Overall, it was a great movie, and they're currently planning out the sequel, and I cannot wait. Still a bit concerned because the rumours of The Miz playing Johnny Cage are still lingering around, and I would prefer to see Scott Adkins as Johnny Cage, or Jean-Claude Van Damme as an older Johnny Cage, considering he was the inspiration behind Johnny Cage in the earlier Mortal Kombat games. But Mortal Kombat also suffered a similar ordeal with release, where it was HBO Max, which was only available in US at the time, and you could only access HBO Max through a VPN. But even though that was the case, some people did not even have availability to HBO Max then, because some people trying to create a HBO Max account through their VPN, it still required them to have an American address, an American bank account, so they couldn't subscribe. This could potentially be the same thing with Hulu Plus for people with VPNs. They still may not be able to subscribe to it, and then we'll just have to wait for its release on like Disney Plus or Prime, which in Mortal Kombat's case was so long after its initial release in the US. Like, I think we waited a good month, maybe more, for it to be released over here. So Prey may suffer a similar fate then, and by that time the reviews may be out, everyone may have trashed it, or they may be singing its praises, we do not know. But the fact that it's going to be exclusive to Hulu Plus does raise concerns, because not everyone is going to be able to see it, which I think is, a bad move. But let me know what you think. Did the teaser trailer pique your interest, even though there was nothing there? Does the plot have you concerned? Do you think they could have made a different movie in order to pique interest and get the franchise back on its feet? Do you have any concerns about it being on Hulu exclusively? Discuss in the comments if you watch this, and I shall see you all later.